Hello, everyone. My name is Christopher Franz. I'm the founder of Country Community Honor, and I'm here with another congressional candidate today. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Chris, and welcome to all your viewers, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Abraham Garapati, running for U.S. Congress for the fourth time against an 86-year-old incumbent who has been in office for 50 years. Time for us to change our incumbents. Our country is in serious crisis today. We are paying $2 billion almost in interest every day on the 37 trillion debt we have. And I'm a businessman, not a politician. I have a plan to attack the national debt so that our kids and our grandkids have a safe future for the next few generations. And we are fighting an inspired battle here to win this primary against an established incumbent congressman. And my campaign manager, Jack, is also here. He's helping me tremendously in making our campaign across the 31st congressional district. We are attending more than 4 to 5 events every single day, trying to meet as many people as possible. So, just a brief intro of our campaign.
You say this is the fourth time you have run for Congress. What made you run initially the very first time?
Sir, I'm really passionate about our country because I came here 25 years back from a socialist country, and I have lived my first 22 years of my life in a socialist country. I know what socialism is, and I want to educate all the liberal, brainwashed kids in our colleges and universities. Nothing is free. Somebody is paying for it. There's value to hard work, and there is an American dream, and I'm the best example of that American dream. And that's a platform, and I need the platform of Congress to educate everybody on why socialism is bad for our country, and American model is the only model that will work.
What is the Do you have like a main focus, a main policy goal for your campaign, or are you just trying, or is there multiple general policies that you want to try and focus on?
Being a businessman, the most important thing that I'm really concerned about is the amount of fraud, waste, and corruption in Congress and our federal government. This was exposed by Doge earlier this year. 50 million for condoms in Gaza, 500 billion to US aid, while our veterans, while our roads, while our infrastructure in the US is suffering. We are spending all this money, wasting this money overseas, and nobody knows where this money is going. And my concern is the 2 billion in interest we are paying on the 37 trillion debt we have. As a businessman, that is the number one issue I'll be attacking and fighting for if I elected to Congress.
Many Republicans run on they are going to fight against the deficit and be fiscally responsible, but yet when the time comes to increase the debt and increase the spending, they always vote yes. Would you be willing to be one of the lone wolves and stand out from among the pack and even have Trump calling you, screaming at you, saying you need to vote yes, even though you want to vote no?
Sir, I will definitely be the lone wolf. I'll fight for the American people. I must be the only candidate in the entire race or the entire country not accepting a single penny in campaign contributions, not taking a salary if I go to Congress. And the reason I'm doing that is I want to serve the people and do what is right for the American people. So whatever it takes to do the right things for the American people, I will fight for them.
So one of the main issues right now in Congress is there's a lot of party divide, Democrats versus Republican, where if the Democrats push a bill, Republicans won't support it, and vice versa. Are you willing to cross the aisle and work with these Democrats, or are you going to basically party line, you're not going to cross the aisle ever?
Sir, if the policies, it doesn't matter. The people of America are electing us as Americans. I'm representing everybody in my district, Democrats, independents, Republicans, everybody. I will present policies that have common sense in them, and I will reach out to the Democrats to support the bills I am proposing. And if they come up with a bill that cuts our budget, that eliminates property taxes, that gives relief for our veterans, anything that makes common sense, and if this bill is sponsored by a Democrat, I'll definitely love to support those, and I'd love to work across the aisle.
Um, why specifically did you decide that you needed to run as a Republican?
Sir, I'm a businessman. No businessman in this country will ever be a Democrat, period. So I'm a Republican all my life. I've never voted for a Democrat in my entire life. I'm always going to be a true Republican because Republicans are the ones who support small business owners, who support low taxes, who support businesses and neighborhoods and safe neighborhoods. These are values that are very, very, very important to me as a businessman. Hence, I'm a Republican, always going to be a Republican.
Because you're running as a Republican right now, it looks like you are going to be facing not just the incumbent John Carter in the upcoming primaries, but 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 or 6 other opponents too. How do you feel going up against multiple opponents? It's going to split the vote. Do you think that gives you a better chance or a worse chance in unseating John Carter?
Sir, we are going to beat John Carter this time. I'm in the number one position. People see somebody who's committed, who is delegate, who is responsible. I've been to 3 state conventions, national convention delegate in 2024, been with the party for the last 10 years, attend every single party event in my district. People see that. The rest of the folks are just coming and announcing their bid to run for office right before the election, and they will leave after the election. So I clearly have a clear advantage in beating John Carter this time. And John Carter is very vulnerable. He's 86 years old, and he's going to be. People are sick and tired of the Bidens of the political world. They understood how Biden was not mentally competent and how it's similar with John Carter. And they saw the corruption in Congress. Doge exposed how corrupt these congressmen were with sending all this money overseas, hard-earned taxpayer money. So he's very vulnerable, and no matter who comes up in the race, I am working really hard, and I'm in the top position to win. And it's the bond between me and my voters. I've been building that for the last 6 years now, running for the 4th time. So they see how persistent I am, and they all say it's my chance to go to Congress this time.
You mentioned that you don't take like you're not getting donations, you're not getting large amounts of money. How do you expect to be able to compete against John Carter if you are going head to head to him in the primaries if he's willing to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars against you?
That's exactly the problem we have, sir. Where is he getting the hundreds and thousands of dollars? That's all corrupt money. Somebody is giving him money for getting some favors done. That's exactly what I'm going to my voters with. I'm going to meet them in person, one by one person after the other, go to events every day and meet them. That doesn't cost anything. And I'm self funding my campaign. So we are going to make sure that we make it very clear to the voters that Congress has become so corrupt that they have been funded by all the PACs, all the corrupt money in the world. So we need to get rid of these Congress people who are taking money from everywhere.
I'm not sure how they things are specifically done in Texas, but here in California, one of the candidates I talked to, they mentioned just to get their candidate summary in the county books that sent out, it would cost $17,000 per county. And so if you're not taking money, how do you get your message out there to those people who are just more or less the politically ignorant, aren't informed, and just get their yearly booklet and see that your name but no information?
Sir, we are not leaving any stone unturned. We will spend wherever required. We will make every single expenditure judiciously. I came here with nothing 25 years back from a socialist country. I built a huge successful business. I can self-fund my campaign. That's my way of giving back to my country and my society. I don't need to don't need anybody's hard-earned money. And we are going to make every investment, every expenditure that is needed for our campaign to succeed.
Do you feel that in this election you need to focus just on campaigning against John Carter, or do you also need to try to focus on campaigning against any of your other primary opponents too?
No, sir. John Carter is my only opponent in this election.
Do you think that there's any of the many primary opponents that you have to worry about? Are any of them a threat? Do you feel that there are any that would support you if you start becoming the front runner, obviously, in their mind too?
So in Texas, we have what is called a runoff if nobody reaches 50% of the vote. And if I am the candidate who goes into the runoff, everybody is behind me. All of the rest of the candidates are going to support me.
Sounds good. With what I have a question about Texas's redistricting. Does that affect your district at all?
A little effect. It did impact us, sir. We lost a county and we gained two new counties. So it's a lot of hard work, especially when the districts are 5 to 7 counties. In my case, there are some districts which are 25 counties. Thank God mine is a compact 7 county district now. It's very hard campaigning, and when we lose a district and when we gain, so we have to start all over from scratch in that new district in this new county. So it's a lot. It's going to be some work, additional work that's going to add it to our campaign.
So you have your campaign manager here, and you mentioned that he is going to be your chief of staff if you do win. That is more foresight than a lot of candidates have. Most candidates don't actually have their chief of staff planned. Do you have anything other planned, like actual policies written out, or bills planned, or just even caucuses to join or whatnot?
I'll let Jack answer that question, but I'll tell he's extremely talented. He knows a lot about American history. He's what, a seventh generation Texan. I'm so blessed to have him on my team, and he will make a phenomenal chief of staff. And I'm looking forward to him helping me out in DC for us to work hard for the American people. And Jack, you take it from here.
Of course. Yeah. So Abhiram was running. I was running as a candidate as well. It came very clear as other candidates were entering the race that the best chance with Abhiram, there's no significant money being put in. Carter has a very strong hold on all of the contributions coming from PACs and inside of the district. Abhiram is a very, very successful businessman who's built up a very good career in real estate and in agriculture and as an entrepreneur. And Abhiram has been going door to door for years, getting to know people in this district, and has a built-in voter base. So it became very clear that Abhiram was really the only candidate that's competitive against Congressman Carter. And Carter does very poorly locally when it comes to grassroots. His money, he's a fundraising machine, but if you look at the books of it, it's not grassroots contributions. And he's bought name recognition for years and years and years. He's not going out in the district. He's much older than he used to be. He used to go out in the district. He's not doing it anymore. It would probably be very hard for somebody in their mid 80s to run a campaign like we're running. Or the other candidates in the district, I do believe that, and part of why the reason I joined with Abhiram is we really want to defeat Carter. He has an F Liberty score from Conservative Review, and he doesn't represent his constituents. And so, absolutely, if there was a runoff, and then in the general election, we would have full support, I believe, fully of everyone else who's in this race. And the redistricting did affect our district, but as far as the percent that's red and blue, it's about the same. So we just lost Bosque County, and we picked up Lampasas and Mills, and then had a little bit of restructuring in Williamson County and Bell County, but we're still primarily the same individuals who have been a part of the 31st District of Texas for a little while. As far as pre-selecting a chief of staff, which is unusual, maybe unprecedented, it has to do with a lot of the integrity of this campaign. So Abhiram is self-funding the campaign. We don't want special interests. We don't want to have anyone to answer to. If someone wrote us a check, we from New York, we're not accepting that. But if we were, we still wouldn't answer to them. But it at least takes that pressure off to feel any type of obligation to, and to have that degree of transparency and commitment to the constituents of the 31st District. And pre-selecting a chief of staff as well is also a big part of what we're trying to do. Where when you go to DC and you hire people from the swamp, a lot of times being a congressman is very hard. You're every 2 years you're reelected, so you're campaigning around the clock. You're having to meet with so many people. Your chief of staff is almost like your other half, and your legislative team also is very, very important. So we wanted to bring myself to DC, who's not a part of the swamp. And when we put together a legislative team, that's a commitment that we want to pursue as well. We want to bring very, very smart, bright people there, but we don't want people who are a part of a system that has consistently sold out Americans over and over and over again in the name of foreign interests and the name of special interests. So that's a little bit of why we have the odd structure to it. And then as far as legislative priorities, one of my tasks is putting together our kind of legislative agenda upon arrival. And we're very early in it, but as far as Abhiram's passions as a businessman, pushing a balanced budget amendment is a very, very big priority for us. It's something that right now would not pass but we hope to bring a lot of attention to the issue. And I think that very few Americans, I mean, we see issues on the TV that are oftentimes like very minute issues being debated because we think that, they're just trying to distract from the real problem, which is we're 37 trillion plus dollars in debt. We're out of control. We have no real plan to handle it. It's always promising some future cuts that never happen. So pushing that balanced budget amendment is probably the biggest priority that we have going in there, and a personal passion of Abhiram's to try to get done. And then we have other priorities that are very, let's say, probably tax policy is another big priority of ours. We want to abolish the IRS and eventually switch to a different system of taxation. We're open to the idea of tariffs, but we also are a little hesitant on how well that could be maintained over time and some of the constitutional issues with the president directing it and how the courts might rule on that. So we would probably prefer something like the Fair Tax Act, which has been introduced consistently since, I believe, the early 2000s. Now that legislation is, I believe, around a 30% sales tax effectively. We think that's a little too high. We really, really want to cut out wasteful spending and fraud to where we could have a reasonable rate of that. And one thing in our district too is, go ahead, Abhiram.
Term limits is very important to us. So we will be looking to pass some law, because everybody we meet in the district, the first thing they want is term limits for any position, any elected office. So that is something I really want to do something to change that.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. The district, we hear property taxes is a big one, which is a state issue. But we've had it pushed so much. We've had to add to our policy position. We're the people's house. So, what the people ask for, we deliver, which is how representation is supposed to be. Senate's a little different, and the 17th Amendment messed it a little bit further. But with us, term limits are demanded basically from this district. We believe it's most effective to have a term limit of 12 years in the House, 12 years in the Senate. And we also believe that introducing a constitutional amendment to ban property taxes nationwide, which we've gone in our district, we've met with libertarian leaders, asking them, as this takes away a right from a state, how do you feel about this? And we've met with folks and we've repeatedly got the same thing over and over again. However it can be done, we want it done. So those are some of the key issues. Tax policy is a big thing where we want to try to rework a bunch of stuff gradually. And we want to really analyze monetary policy as far as looking at, auditing the Fed for sure, possibly looking at abolishing the Fed is something that we've looked at as well. And then constitutional issues where we absolutely need to protect free speech. And we want to basically try to repeal any violations on the Second Amendment, including the Hughes Amendment, NFA, GCA, all that stuff. So just really a lot of the priority of this office will be fiscal policy, monetary policy, and constitutional issues. And then, of course, anything from the district. I know water issues are a concern for people in the district, as Central Texas is having a lot of issue with that. And then natural disasters. So as those come along and as we speak with experts on it, we'll also be addressing local issues as well. But just to give you a broad idea of the platform.
Yeah, a lot of what you say, it's not really, I guess, Republican party establishment type policies that you push. It's more the libertarian, it's more the populist and whatnot. So is that the type of base you're trying to go for your voters, or are you trying to sway the establishment Republicans to also support you too?
So Chris, these are all feedback we get from our district on what people really want. People are really suffering a lot, and they don't want minimal government. They want minimal taxation. So, and there are a lot of process improvements we can do to make sure that the connectivity between the government and the people is as small or as low as possible, so that people can live a freer life. That's the feedback we are making our policy decisions based on our customer or our voter feedback. And going forward, that's what is going to drive our campaign. We want to really work for the American people and make American lives better. And that's going to be our fight. And we are not rigid or fixed on any policy position. We want to listen to the American people. We want to do what is right for the American people. We want to fight for them. And we want to get things accomplished and get done for the American people.
Oh, I completely agree. It's just that a lot of registered voters, the people who are registered Republican that would vote in primaries, because I believe Texas is a closed primary state where you have to be registered in the
Not,
party
It's
not yet.
it's an open primary at the moment, and
at the
there's
moment.
the
Okay.
lawsuit going on to try to close it. And if the lawsuit succeeds, it'll be a closed primary. We haven't decided either way. We're going to see how things play out as far as what we support. But our opinion at this point is that it would not affect this election cycle. We could be wrong, but that's we believe it will be an open primary.
Okay, because yeah, I know with closed primaries, like even if you have the independents, the libertarians, the unaffiliated loving everything you say, if they're not registered to vote in that party's primary, that they wouldn't be able to vote. So that's why I was
We
trying
are
to
an
ask.
open primary as of now, and we think 100% it will be an open primary going into March.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, this was just meant to be a quick conversation, get to know each other, help you get your message out there. Is there anything specific you'd like to shout out to any of the viewers?
So thank you for giving me this opportunity, Chris. Let me wrap it up by saying that I've been to a national convention last year, which has been a blessing for me, learning from our Republican leadership, being with the people, understanding what the policy issues are, traveling in the district every single day, fighting hard for their issues is what we are going to be focused on. We are going to win this time. This is the fourth time we are running for this office, and we will serve every single American, no matter who they are or where they are located. We are there for them, and we will fight for them. We will listen to all the American viewpoints, whether they agree with us or not. But we want to be the voice bearer. We want to fight for their voices and fight for their issues in Congress when we get there. And we are really excited about our campaign this time.
Um, what's the name of your website? Do you have any social media? Where can people find and follow you?
Jack, why don't you go there?
Yeah, so the website is Garapati for Texas.com. That's GARAPATIFORTEXAS.com. And we're on social media. We have a Facebook account that we're very, very active on, an X account that we're very active on, and a Instagram account that we're very active on. And then we also have a TikTok account. The TikTok account we post occasionally, but we're going to get more active as we get closer to the election with that kind of content. And I just like to say, you're talking about the issues. Our district is a bunch of liberty-loving Republicans, and if they were just to tell you what they wanted, it'd be two words: small government. So anything we can deliver for small government would be serving the people of the 31st district. Some of the neighboring districts are a little bit more of that kind of center line. But we have a bunch of constitutionalists who want small government and love our country. And we couldn't be more happy to just have been blessed with being in that district and how the redistricting has worked and everything else. So please do check out our social media, check out our website. We have some policy positions on there, and Abhiram's running a very aggressive campaign. If you live in the district and you go to party events, you'll definitely see him. You go to farmers markets, you go to fairs, whatever, you're going to run into them. So anyone who's in the 31st district who's watching this, you might run into me too. You'll see me around a little bit. You'll see Abhiram more. Just come up and say hi. We'd be happy to have a conversation. And we don't serve big money. We're just here to represent you. We're people who love American history. We love this country, and we want to see it do well. And we're very, very concerned, and that's why we're getting involved.
Well, thank you both for taking your time out of your day to talk to me, and thank you for anybody who decided to listen. Have a great day, and talk to you guys later.
Thank you all.